yes, of course, I'd love if my partner would put post-its all over the house, but it's not a necessity. I would prefer not to be in a relationship with someone who has completely different love languages, because that is
it will demand an effort. It will require an effort.
Exactly. It will take a lot of effort to translate your love language into theirs. Welcome to Let's Talk About with Lily and Lou, the podcast in which we are going to discuss with you all the things that multidimensional women in the 21st century go through, in hopes that we can break some taboos together. But first, every episode, we are going to start with a confession corner, because Lou and I have actually never met in real life. We've only ever met over the internet, so we're like modern day priestess. And that's why we are going to do a confession corner with you. Oh my God, it's been way too long, but I'm so excited that we are back with another episode. And as always, if you've been listening before, and if you're not, you're now going to know, we always start with our confession corner. And Lou, please sit your ass on the bench and tell me what happened.
Well, I feel like it's been a couple of weeks now, but
Yep.
I officially have a boyfriend.
Oh my God, no kidding. I'm happy for you.
Funny enough, when we started this podcast, I think of my first confession when it came over and I got 4 full garlic instead of cloves, right? So we're talking about the same person with the balcony and stuff. Yeah.
Oh, guys, like you've been growing with us then. Like everyone's finding this out at the same time. It's like, oh my gosh, we've been talking about this guy. Is he the same one that was on your balcony?
Yeah.
Oh, damn. Oh, damn. We knew all along, guys. We knew all along. We were in on the dirt all along. But happy for you.
Thank you.
To hear. Yes.
Yeah.
Well,
and it's my first boyfriend. Oh, you go.
Your first boyfriend ever?
Ever. Yeah.
Oh, damn.
Yeah.
That's
I can't remember
cute,
if we talked about this, but
that's cute.
I feel like it's cute. I'm like, I have no idea what I'm doing.
You're like, bitch, I am cute. You don't have to tell me. Well, my confession is
so what is your confession?
Yes, my confession's that's 2 weeks ago. And actually, like, this happened 2 weeks ago. So back then, obviously the clubs weren't open yet in Amsterdam, and they just reopened. So it's like kind of 2 confessions. 2 weeks ago, I danced in a video clip. I twerked in a video clip, which I loved, by the way. So if anyone wants to book me, only if you're being super respectful, because I'll never grind on you. Nope, not gonna happen. No. So like I danced in a video clip. I can't say for which artist yet, but and it was just such a freaking vibe. The set was so nice. Everyone was so cool. And I was there and I was talking to like strangers, obviously all day, because there were a lot of people on set. And I was just like, oh, I want to go out and I want to flirt with random people. This is just what I love doing sometimes. And so I was super craving going to a club, which is not really something I do a lot. And then last week I went to a club and I flirted. Yes, a hair flip for the people who aren't watching this but listening. And then I went to a club and basically I flirted with everyone I saw. And I loved it. I was grinding on everyone, all my friends, not all the guys I saw, but I was flirting with everyone. So
important clarification. Yes.
Exactly. Very important clarification. So yeah, that is my life of right now, my update.
I like it.
Yes.
Sounds fun.
It really was.
But what are we talking about today? Let's dive right in.
Yes, we're talking about love languages. I'm so excited. Honestly, this is one of those subjects again that changed my life for the better.
Likewise,
in every aspect, like not just my romantic relationships, which I don't have right now, but
maybe you're better for it until the right one.
100%. I am better for it. I'm in a really good place right now when it comes to like
I love
dating or not dating. And but also with relationships with friends and family, love languages have really changed my perspective.
Yeah.
On a lot. So that's
very important.
I'm
So
excited for this.
Straight up, what's a love language, Lily?
Yes.
Where do they come from?
Yes, love languages were first coined by Gary Chapman in his book. He's a PhD. He wrote a book in 1992, so it's old. And that's where he was talking about 5 different ways that he found that people express their love, or like express their love, and basically also that's
Affection,
kind of the key to it, how they like to receive love. And so if you know which love languages you have, or which one you prefer, you kind of know in which ways you like giving your love but also receiving. And you have 5. So you have words of affirmation, which is basically someone telling you that you're amazing or complimenting you on stuff. And then you have quality time, which obviously it speaks for itself. Yeah, that's me. Like you literally went like, yeah, like a little kitty.
That's one of mine.
Okay, we'll talk about that in a second.
Yes.
Then you have physical touch. And that also obviously speaks for itself. It doesn't
kind of all speak for itself. Yeah,
true. But physical touch doesn't necessarily have to be a sexual touch. It's literally like physical touch, just in
like hugs, kisses, holding hands, anything. Just
being close to someone, like touching your shoulders together, anything. Then you have acts of service, and you have receiving gifts. So there's 5 different ways. And there's this whole, if you want and you don't know yours, you can go online and you can do a test, and then you'll see.
I think we'll actually put a link in the description below for you guys to make it easier for you. And then you can comment on our podcast to tell us what you have. Exactly. I think, correct me if I'm wrong, but I think we all have them in a different range of importance, right?
Yes.
So the first 2, depending on how much, because you get points when you do the tests. And so the first 2, I think, are the most important.
Exactly. Something like that, right? It depends, because it gives you percentages. So for me, if I'm talking for myself, like for me, number 1 is physical touch, 100%. And that was like, I think 80%. So, okay, even though that quality time came after it, and that's the second, that is just not as important. Yeah, I'm a big physical touch person.
You are?
Yes.
Actually, and what are you? In the story with the hugs and stuff. I'm trying to go on my email at the same time now, because now that you said the percentage thing, I'm like, I can't remember, but I think I got the same. Well, it's fine. I think I got the same percentage for acts of service and quality time.
Really?
Like my first 2, and I don't know what comes after that, but like they were like at the top, exactly the same.
Oh, that's sick. I've never, let me think. Yeah, there's quite a lot of people that I've met that have acts of service. So for people who don't know what acts of services are,
let's go with an example. Yeah,
exactly. Let's go with an example.
I'll tell you my story with Kel. So my housemate, Kel, and I, so it's my best friend as well. We actually have the same love language, acts of service. And so the way that we show our affection for each other, or that we care for each other, we'll finish the dishes, or one of us will make the other's coffee in the morning. So you remember the coffee and you make the coffee. We'll drive each other's to go groceries, or we'll accompany each other's go groceries, even if the other one doesn't need to go. Like little things like that don't need words. You show. It's like actions matter more than words. That kind of stuff.
Basically. Yes. Well, and the thing is, with like, that is perfect example, because both of you have the same love language. But the thing is, where it goes wrong a lot of the times, or not wrong, but where like people clash, and where a lot of people in relationships, any type of relationship, kind of have difficulty meeting each other, or like finding each other and showing each other love, is when you have different types of love languages in that same relationship. So for me, for an instance, because my physical touch love language is so high up there. If I have I have difficulty feeling someone's love if they don't show me love in that way. So for an instance,
Yeah, I
when I
think
was
it's
dating
most of
someone
us. Yeah.
and they had they had acts of service as their love language, for an instance, and they wouldn't like connect with me as much. They wouldn't grab my hand while we were walking, or they wouldn't put their arm around me, or they wouldn't like hug me as often as I would like, or like give kisses or something. I would just feel unloved and unwanted. And that says more about me, about that I don't feel love because I express love in a different way than it does about them. And I feel that that's also how you can use this in your advantage. It's also a good reason to actually find out what your love languages are together with your partner or with your friends or with your family member. Because then if you really love that person, you can also accommodate towards their love language.
It's literally communicating your needs. Yeah,
exactly.
And that's what I like with that. Like, I'm so passionate about love languages as well, because it's like, I think I don't know if it's called the same or not, like with attachment style, like relational psychology, you know?
Yeah.
And so when you learn about who you are, you can communicate that to others, and it helps you get to know them as well. So I actually did that with the test with my boyfriend as well. And we realized we had both the same ones, acts of service and quality time. It's like, well, that looks like it's going to work. It's cool.
No, we can never break up. Bye.
You're stuck. Bye.
No.
Now I'm going to pray that he doesn't listen to this.
Just be like, no, we don't have an episode this week. Bye. No, like
That's
he should
funny.
be fine. He should be fine.
No, we're good. It's
so,
funny.
Oh, my series.
But yeah, the receiving love part, I had a past housemate friend that I had the same thing. We didn't know how to show each other's love. Like, we had different love languages. And so we both didn't feel, and that kind of didn't end well, as you know, because we never actually managed to communicate our needs to each other properly, I believe.
So what were the differences? I think that would be a very interesting thing to hear, as in like, what's your love languages and what's theirs?
So I'm actually not sure, because I think hers were more, I think she had acts of service, but I did not feel it. And I think I needed quality time, which is why, you know, when I have both, I kind of need both. And I've seen that with my friend Kel as well. If you like, because she does fly in, fly out, which she works away 2 weeks out. So sometimes we wouldn't be showing each other's like love. And I would feel like, oh, okay, I want to spend time with her. I need to spend time with her, that kind of stuff. So I think it's like, because I need a bit of a mix. Yeah, exactly. And so I don't really know about my other friend, because obviously it didn't really work as well.
Yeah. But like, so I feel like that's a very interesting point. I feel like that's exactly where the communication would have gotten better if you would have known about this and would have like asked her like, okay, but what do you need? Like, how do you like to receive love from me, basically?
And funny enough, it's when I lived in the house that I started doing that relational psychology stuff. So I didn't really know at that start, but it gets me to the other one. Because then, can you choose your own love language, or is that something you're born with? Like, how do they come to be?
I feel like, so it's the same kind of with attachment styles. They are mainly formed while you were younger. Or that's like what the book tells us. They're mainly formed while you're younger. So how your parents, how your siblings, how everyone around you when you're a child gives and receives love. So your body kind of assumes that that's the normal way to love and like give and receive love. But having said that, it's definitely something that can change, because over time you can be in a different relationship and someone can show you something that you really like or you prefer. And when I then look at my own relationships, so I was dating this person and they didn't know about love languages. So I asked them like, okay, are you willing to do that test? Like, I would be interested in knowing what your love language is. And then he was like, yeah, sure. So he took that test. And even though, especially in the beginning, we had I was craving his physical touch, he like learned more about it. And he was like, well, I feel like physical touch is really high up there for me as well. But just because that is not how I was raised, and that's not what I got from my family, that's not what I got from my parents at all. He was in that scarcity mode. He was in that, oh, but if you say I want 10 hugs, I'm like, oh, but 2 is already a lot. And I love those 2 hugs, but it's a lot because I'm not used to that many hugs. So it's also like, yes, it can change and it can be unexpected, or you can have the same thing, but just not in the same level of intensity, basically. And that is definitely something that was formed when you were younger, and can change when you're in a relationship. So if you're with a person who's very, very
touchy
big,
feely,
exactly, like very touchy, or very
you'll
very
crave
much
more physical
time.
touch.
Yes, exactly. You'll feel alone, or you feel empty when you don't have it. And that's the same with all the other ones.
Yeah. And if I can like jump in on what you just said with the
yes.
changing, I didn't know with the changing part, but I've seen as well that it's either what you've received from your caretakers or what you didn't receive but needed as well. So it's like, I'm going to take my same example that I use in attachment style, but like my mom would show me through acts of service.
Yeah.
And now that I think about it, my dad would show me through gifts, but that's not mine. I needed quality time from him. And so this is why my 2 were like that. And it's not what it was,
exactly.
kind of. And it's interesting looking back, and I'm like, oh yeah, that's just that I needed something different, but I can see it now. Like I understand it.
And I think that's very important, because I feel like there's a lot of people who have distorted relationships with their caretakers, their parents, or whomever raised them. And in hindsight, maybe that is a relationship that you want to restore now, or you're looking to restore. And if you look back, you might think like, oh, they didn't love me, or they didn't show their love. But really look at it and try and see, or try and find, maybe they just had a different love language, so it didn't come across, like the message got lost in translation. And
it's literally a communication problem. Like the foundation of a relationship.
Exactly. So it would be very interesting looking back and seeing like, okay, is this something that they were always showing me, but I just didn't know how to receive? Yes, I just didn't know how to listen, basically. I didn't speak their language. So yeah, I feel like that's even for relationships that you had in the past, it's very good to analyze what the love languages were. And
that's nice.
Yes.
Yeah, I love that. So do you have any tips on how to effectively use them in your relationships, romantic or not, obviously?
Well, first of all, no. Like educate yourself, read about it,
do the test. We'll put in the link.
Do the test, read the book
in the description,
or listen to the book, or wherever you get your books. I don't care. But
and observe what you're doing as well.
Exactly. And then I think that's the second step. As soon as you know about them, you're going to notice them everywhere. You're going to look at people. It's like, don't think about the color red, and then all you're going to see is the fucking color red all over the place. So that's going to be the same thing. I saw your microphone and I was like, her microphone is red. So I feel like that's going to be the same for you with love languages, or that's what I had. Like I was observing them everywhere. I was looking at my friends and being like, how do you give and receive love? And also asking people, you can use your words.
What do you need from me? How can I make, I read something
how can I make you feel loved?
Yeah.
And I feel like that is
how do you need me to hold space for you? Or like,
exactly.
How can I support you better? How can I be a better partner for you?
Exactly.
I wrote that all down.
Yes. How can we be good partners for each other? And I feel like that is the foundation of love. Like loving someone is, how can I hold space for you, and how can I make sure that you feel my love? Like love is not selfish. It shouldn't be like, oh, but I love you.
No, it's not. You're right.
And I want to push my way onto you.
Mm-hmm.
And then having said that, obviously you can't be in a relationship, or I would prefer not to be in a relationship. Like, let's put it on me. I would prefer not to be in a relationship with someone who has completely different love languages, because that is
it will demand an effort. It will require an effort.
Exactly. It will take a lot of effort to translate your love language into theirs. And that's not necessary if you can find someone who kind of speaks the same language.
I like that. Also, when you were saying about communication needs and stuff, there's this guy, you should check it out as well. He's talking about love languages and things like that on Instagram, called Matt Kama. I love his stuff. And I think him and his partner do relationship check-ins. I don't know how often and stuff, but I've looked at that and I was like, this is awesome. And it's literally checking in what you love from your partner, what they're already doing that you really enjoy. Because if you don't tell them, they don't know that they're doing something that you like, and they might not do it again. And on every way, like whether it's talking, it's helping you out, it's offering their help, whether it's in the bedroom, like if you don't tell them, they won't know. But people also what annoys them eventually, like what what hurt you, because we all have wounds from our childhood and things like that. Would something they have said to you like trigger you the wrong way? Because like if they're aware of it, then they can adapt the language or their actions and stuff.
Exactly.
Just like telling your partner that you're coming home late, for example, when we were on the anxious avoidant, like instead of waiting for a message, she was like, okay, she needs me to send a message, I will send a message, hey, I'll be a bit late tonight, or something like that.
Yes, exactly. And that is literally just making sure that you communicate properly. And also, like, there's one thing I want to add to that. I read this thing and this literally blew my mind. I read this thing where they said, everything in my marriage changed when my wife and I realized that we could just ask each other what we needed. So as in, like, if I was starting like ranting about something, the only question she would ask is, do you need me to help you find a solution, or do you need me to just listen? Literally, that question can solve so much trouble. Like, when you get home super excited and you're telling something.
This is in Men Are From Mars, Women Are From Venus.
Oh, maybe. Like, I just literally saw example post it on Twitter, and I was like, this is such a good thing. Because that is literally it. Like, just ask, like, do you want me to be excited with you, or do you want me to help you find a solution, or do you want me to give some pointers, or literally, like, what do you need from me right now? And I feel like that is kind of an extension of the love languages, as in, like, just make sure that you communicate about them.
Exactly.
Yes.
Yeah. I think it says something about, like, if they have a problem, or if it's like, if I need to vent about something because I'm frustrated, do I need you to come up with a solution, or just listen to me vent and that's all? Because I need to communicate that, and I'm not asking for anything. Because then if you come with solutions when I really just need to release frustration, it's going to frustrate me more, and then you feel like you can't help me. I think it's what he was explaining about him and his partner. That was really interesting.
Yeah. Well, I love that example, and that really, like, blew my mind. I was like, I'm definitely using this in my next romantic relationship. By the way, not just romantic relationship, any relationship.
It makes me think, I had shared something, I don't know, we don't probably have to go through all of it, the do's and don'ts of love languages. So it goes through each of them. I think we could probably share it on our Instagram, actually. I'll do that. So for example, quality time, do's: put your phone away when together, listening and engaging intently, spend your time in a meaningful way, engaging in deeper conversation.
Yes.
Don't: being distracted and not present, postponing dates or complaining about them, assuming that the other person is being needy, making the conversation one-sided.
Yes.
Felt that
big
in my
fat
soul.
dunks. Like, I feel those stabs in the heart. And I'm like,
oh, let me do physical touch for you as well.
Please.
So do's, I mean, I can do them all. Do: initiating intimacy, giving surprise back or foot massages, close physical contact like hugging, holding hands, walk by touches, non-sexual touches. Actually love that as well.
I love that.
Don't waiting for them to show affection first. Long periods without intimacy. Withholding affection after arguments.
Oof, that
assuming they're always in the mood to be intimate.
They're big fat no's, as definitely. But I related to the yeses. Like I saw the dudes and I'm like, yes.
Yeah. Actually, I like that as well.
Things.
I think I'm becoming more physical touch.
Yes, when you're with someone, I feel like a lot of people are that when they're in love, when they're like, when they found someone that they like.
Maybe that's why, actually, because I've never, and like we've talked about it in a previous podcast, like when I was more boyish and stuff, or like trying to put on that one of the boys persona, I was always like, no, like I'm not touchy-feely, like I'm not tactical. Yeah, like don't touch me kind of thing. So I would avoid like little random,
Well, yeah, I do also
displays of affection.
Yes, I do also feel like if there's obviously like my love language is physical touch, but I'm not going to touch random people. Like, nah. So it doesn't work like that where you're like, okay, you do have to love someone for that, you know, like you do have to want to be with, like, hang out with someone. Definitely I'm that person on like when I go on dates, that's just something that's so important for me to like find out about someone. Like, is he someone who likes to like sit close, or like does he grab my hand at some point, or like does it flow naturally,
you notice
or do
all
I
this
have
stuff
to push this on him basically?
Nice.
That's a no for me.
That's
but
good. Yes. Do you want me to finish the 3 other ones, or should we just post it on Instagram?
No,
I'll do that.
I'm excited to hear the rest.
Okay, so acts of service. Do's: using actions rather than words, being reliable and following through on promises. This is such a big one for me. Showing support in small, thoughtful ways, being spontaneous and surprising them. Don't: not keeping to your word, ignoring when they ask for help, not appreciating or noticing their acts of service. That's also a big one. Seeing certain tasks as gender specific.
Oh, that's a big one. That's a big one. Literally, when you said that, I was like, who?
Yeah, me too. I didn't know that one, actually. I didn't read it all.
Well, you know, the thing is, I didn't know that one either. And now that I think back to one of my relationships, one of my exes did that. He like assumed we got home and he was like, can you make some food for me? And I was like, bitch, where the fuck your hands at? I think you can do that yourself, you know? There's the kitchen, there's food in there, do your thing. Not a single fucking chance that I am making you food. So yeah.
Well, he doesn't have a choice because I'm not the cook of the relationship. So that's good.
I'm not the cook of the relationship. It's either no food or the food that you make. Okay.
I can do stuff. Yes.
I'm excited now.
Receiving gifts.
Yes.
Do's: gifting meaningful and thoughtful presents, small gestures when they're feeling down, being intentional about important occasions, like remembering birthdays and all that stuff, giving small thinking of you gifts.
Yes.
Don't: assuming they're being materialistic, forgetting birthdays or anniversaries, giving gifts out of obligation and duty, making it about the monetary value. Yeah. That one's interesting as well. Yeah, because it's not like, I think that one is perceived as like you are expecting the other person to pay for you and stuff, but it's more like it's gestures or little objects and thoughtful things that like, it's similar to acts of service in a more of a
materialistic way.
Present, I guess a little bit. Like,
yes, but not like
nice too.
I think that's the common misconception around this one, that it has to be super expensive, that your gifts need to be like, oh, I just bought you an Apple Watch. No, bitch, you can just buy me, I don't know, raisins from the supermarket and I'll be happy. I feel like that is more like,
it's remembering what they like. So my dad my dad was in charge of grocery shopping when we were younger.
Yes.
So every Tuesday he was going grocery shopping and bringing like things for the week for everyone. And so he would bring back my sister and I
your favorite
CDs. music. We would listen to songs on the radio, stuff like that, and say that we like an artist. And the week after, we would get the artist CDs.
Oh, but
just
that
randomly.
is so sweet.
Right. It is really sweet.
And in hindsight, you really see how much that like
And
his love
yeah,
shows through.
Only realized that like last year or the year before when I started studying this stuff, because I had no idea
so
before. It's
cute.
little gesture that you don't always notice. Yeah.
That's so cute.
Things like that.
Okay, let's move on to the last one.
And last one, words of affirmation. Do's, leaving thoughtful and written notes. Oh my God, I do that. Giving non-physical compliments. Kel had a whole wall of Post-its. I hid them all around the house for her to find as well one time.
That's so cute.
Sharing reasons why you appreciate them. Celebrating their successes and accomplishments. That's cute. That's really nice. We definitely all have them on different percentages. Yeah, I can see
exactly.
Don't long periods without reassurance or showing love. Cold-hearted, disingenuous compliments. Not acknowledging their value and efforts. Harsh words or lack of communication.
Yes. So I feel like definitely I can relate to all of them, where I'm like, obviously that's nice. But I feel like when you look at your love languages and you do that test, you're just going to see the ones that you actually need in order for the relationship to succeed, basically. So yes, of course, I'd love if my partner would put Post-its all over the house, but it's not a necessity. Like if there's no physical touch, the relationship will not like
survive.
Exactly. But if there's no Post-its all over the house, yeah, we'll be fine. So like that's kind of how you should look at it, I think. Yes.
Yeah, I like that. That's a good way to say it. Like you have your non-negotiables, like what actually really matters to you. Everything else is a bonus.
Exactly.
That's good. Which is going to lead me to our final questions, actually.
Yes.
Gary Chapman actually talks also about apology languages.
Yes.
What about them? Can you tell us about them, or like what they are? Looked into it.
Yes, they also wrote it, or he also wrote another book about that. And there's five. It's expressing regret. We'll go through them one by one. So expressing regret, I feel like it kind of talks for itself.
I'm sorry.
I'm sorry, basically. Yes.
Yeah.
And then you have kind of the next level of that. It's a genuinely repenting. So you say sorry, but you also act upon it. So you don't do it again.
Yeah.
You change your behavior, basically.
Yeah. You like realize what you've done, kind of thing. Like
yes, in my opinion,
you admit on messing up, I think.
Yes. In my opinion, like expressing regrets could be left
they're
out.
both very similar. Yeah,
exactly. Could be left out because like if someone says sorry and then doesn't change their behavior, that's not sorry. They don't care. Then you have accepting responsibility. So like saying like, I realized that I was in the wrong and what can I do to make it better, basically.
Yeah.
Then making restitution. So you don't necessarily say I'm sorry, but you just fix it. Like you
exactly you
broke,
fix
basically.
It, you make it up to them.
Yes, exactly. And then the last one is requesting forgiveness. So please, Lou, forgive me. Is it too late now to say I'm sorry? Hey, Justin Bieber. Who thought that Justin Bieber would ever make it into our podcast? Look at us now.
Definitely not me. Wow. Do you know your apology language by any chance? Or did you not do that? You didn't. Hey.
So mine is genuinely repenting. You can say sorry. Yeah, you can say sorry, but if you don't,
like you need to mean it and like
you need to change your behavior.
Back it up.
So it's kind of like genuinely repenting, but also making restitution. So kind of
I'm making restitution. I just looked at the email before. I couldn't remember, and like it's exploded all records of like it's like the most points I could have had on that one. It's like
I can imagine.
Make it up kind of thing. It's like
exactly, just fix it. And like sooner than later, like don't wait like 5 days, just do it immediately. Like if you care
and take responsibility.
Yes, exactly.
It's a good one as well, actually.
Do it immediately. So I feel like that's kind of the next step, but I feel like we'll go into that in a later episode. Just let us know if that is something that you're interested in.
Yeah, a little
but
bit more on that one.
Yes.
Maybe.
And then I'm so excited that we finally filmed an episode again. I hope you
Yeah,
guys
me
love
too.
listening. Please recommend, if you love this episode, please recommend it to your friends, your family, your loved ones, whomever you think would benefit from this. And if you are listening on Apple Podcasts, please leave us a review, because that really, really helps us out.
It does.
And then we'll see you, or you'll hear us in 2 weeks.